Story number 8, and the final lucky number 8 ball story that made it in. The top story. What happens if you exempt power? Whom do you trust? That means power, the thing that make things chirp, make things run. What happens if you got rid of it? Nothing would function. You look at electricity. Electricity needs a generator. Everything, kinetic energy, everything needs to be pushed, to be pulled. Everything needs force, energy. What happens if you get rid of it? What happens if you don't trust the power? That's why story number 8 is at the top, because we're seeing all these things happen across the world because some people lack the power that they need to get their voice heard. Some people want the power. There's a power struggle every day. Some people decide to stay neutral, but some people, even when you're working and you have a boss, the power of that boss to tell you to get the work, the gold, the generator is what we look at. Some stories that surfaced in. U.S. officials are worried about Chinese control of America's drug supply. I talked to you about this. There's no leverage in one country having an opposing country, or a country that may someday decide to divorce them, having all of the medication. But that's why teamwork, understanding, friendship, loyalty, that's why these words were invented. Because if you go to China and they have everything and you don't have that, that's why trade policies, that's why when two people need each other, it may be better to be friends and to keep that friendship alive. 12 journalists have been killed in Mexico this year. Journalism. These journalists have information on powerful people. When they are getting killed is scary, because that means that the power is not good. It's generating bad fumes, bad electricity. It has a short in it, and pretty soon it's going to go out of commission. And that's why power is a very big topic. And what happens when it changes, or it starts getting off less energy, it starts to stop giving the energy that it needs to keep things functioning. The founder of a 3D gun company gets 7 years probation for sex with a minor. What happens when the top becomes corrupt? All the little pieces in the gears in the bottle and the gears in the watch start to misfunction. You're starting to learn something. Catch on. I'm not here to teach you. I'm just here to keep you informed. I do this for the love of the game. California church leader. Like I told you, there was a story that surfaced in earlier. How even a church, the church used homeless as forced labor. These people were not getting paid. The power of the Bible is amazing, because it's amazing what people will do when they think they're doing it for God. But it's amazing how the people who are telling them to do this can convince them that they're doing it for God. I'm not an atheist. I believe in God. I practice the faith every day. I've read the Bible multiple times. But that's why story number 8 gets you to think. Because what happens when power is exempt? What happens if someone taps into your brain and tells you that what you're doing is for the benefit of God and reaping off of your hard labor and not paying you what you're worth? Are they taking advantage of you? Are they abusing you? Are they becoming a dictator? Are they not telling you or giving you what you need? Or should you read? Are they taking advantage of the fact that you may not have read the book yourself? This is what's scary about power. Electricity, the things that make things work. God, the creator of the universe. Is that why people, what they call rebel? Why people go rogue? When people start to think for themselves. The sheep and the shepherd. It's food for thought, folks. And that's why story number 8. Definitely, that's why it's at the top. 6 in 10 say Trump does not deserve a second term. They don't believe in his leadership. They don't think he has the credentials. They don't think he has the respect. They don't think that he's fit for the job. Chinese professor stole hard drive secrets from Huawei. U.S. government charges them. The U.S. government has basically said that the people in China have been abusing their power. They've been using it for their own good to build islands. Power unchecked. Now you're starting to catch on to why power must be balanced, why there has to be checks and balances. A president, wealthy man, one of the wealthiest presidents in the history of this country, gets in office, has unlimited access to money, resources, buildings, has congressional people on the taxpayer dime, still making a profit off of these businesses. That's why this story is scary, and that's why what's happening in America and in the world is starting to get people to understand that maybe I should second guess that job that is going to give me the luxurious things in life. The job where the CEO is flying around in jets and the workers can barely make ends meet. The job where the 1% is basically tapping into my thinking, telling me that I too can be like them if I spend this kind of money, without understanding that I must be informed. I must read the book. I must learn that knowledge has responsibilities, and to whom much is given, much is required. That's why story number 8 has the substance that it needs, has the ability to grow, and has the ability to create a rebel out of an average citizen to get you to think on your own. CIA secret quest for mind control with LSD surface in an NPR story. These stories are surfacing for a reason, to get your attention. Some people are just like to be controlled. Some people start to understand and start to reason with life and to realize that they may have some control over their life. But once that control is gone, it's very scary to what can happen when it no longer comes back. House Republicans want details on Democrats' mysterious trip to Mexico. Let's hope nobody's been breaking the rules, folks. U.S. and Russia battling it out over a huge Iraqi gas field, according to one report. We even see Iran bombing oil fields. Folks, power is scary, and that's why it's at the top. And that's why what happens when you can't trust it anymore, the people in power. That's why things balance themselves out. If you don't understand war by now, I'm sure I can guarantee you'll understand it. Once the dust settles, things can get nasty in the middle, but it can smooth itself out to balance things back out. I hope you learned something this week. Thank you for tuning into the Mediator this week. Those are our top 8 headlines, developing news stories. If you want to be a contributor, doesn't take much. METHOD, the number 8, INC.com, method80.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Constantly reminding my audience that I want to thank all, and you should thank all the news outlets and journalists that keep us informed, those on the front lines. They deserve all the credit. That means that there are just some people out there who just mediate, and that's what I am. I am just a mediator, staying in the middle, navigating from the left or the right to keep you informed. So if you want to be a contributor, it doesn't take much. METHOD, the number 8, INC.com, method80.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Thanks for tuning in this week, folks. Have a good, safe week, and please stay informed. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you for tuning to the Mediator with me, Brian West.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.